Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's Ruth Marquise, your favorite realtor. Welcome to the Ruth and Relationship Show. I am your host, Ruth Marquise, aka your favorite realtor, aka your favorite credit specialist, aka your love negotiator. I help men and women relate, get into quality relationships that lead to quality families, that lead to quality communities, that leave quality legacies. Let's build. Today's topic: manifesting your dream partner. Manifesting your dream partner, because people are not everybody doesn't want to get married, so we're gonna say partner. Some people don't want a partner. Listen, we only got space for so many words. So whatever this person is, a partner, a spouse, a long-term boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, companion, you need to learn how to manifest it. A lot of times when you get into run into issues and relationships, it's because you did not discern properly the right person for you. You overlooked certain things that you shouldn't have. You took some liberties that you shouldn't have. You did not heal properly. You did not create positive experiences, or you did and you just kind of like still need to grow. Okay. So I wanted to take it to the experts because I love when science is involved. That's what makes the Ruth and Relationship Show different from others, is because we bring the science into it. Okay. We bring the numbers and the science into it. Okay. So with that being said, it's a reliable source of information. Now we can talk about McDonald's and baby mamas and baby daddies and foolish stuff that's not going to add to it's not. You got to understand what's important and what's not important. Why would people stop their day to talk about things that don't really matter, to talk about people business and we don't care, to be was it funny? Yes, it was hilarious. I put some posts up. Well, for the people that don't know, okay, what's trending today is, and I was like, I refuse to make a video on this. Basically, this lady had 4 kids, and the last one was with her child's father. Well, right, obviously. So he brought food just for one kid, and she smacked it out of his hand and all that, and saying, "I got more kids, and you don't buy nothing for my kids." But the backstory also is that he's still dibbling and dabbling with her, and she was just like, you used to buy food for everybody, now you're not. So at the end of the day, women, don't feel entitled. Go buy your other kids some stuff, or do like the post says, cut it in 4 squares. Let me tell you about my mama, okay? My mama loved us, honey. When she had those peppermints, she will bite the peppermint and break it into 1,000 pieces and break big pieces for each one of them kids. Okay, my mama had 5 kids. We all get a piece. You get a piece, you get a piece. And maybe she got a piece and maybe she didn't. But she knew how to split some stuff up. So maybe that's what you had to do. Obviously, it's petty. Obviously, it's not the thing but a lot of y'all was funny. Like the responses is crazy. It's like, how they got Black Twitter and they just start going wild with the responses. Y'all just starting to do that on Facebook. It's hilarious. But at the same time, it's not going to do nothing to your life. It's not going to add nothing to your life. So what we would like to do here at the Ruth and Relationship Show is to focus on what matters, focus on getting your goals. If you are not in the relationship that you want to be in, then you have some work to do. If you have not found the proper partner or your dream partner or somebody that, like, well, damn. Well, damn, I think this might work. If it's not feeling like that, then you got to go back to the drawing board. So let's jump right into the video so we can get right into this thing today, because we're in learning mode, we're in class mode, but it's gonna be interesting. So one thing I like to do is I like to put a little spice on the information, because sitting through these things can be very daunting. So I'm not gonna hold you long. We're just gonna take a little bit. We're gonna take some bite-sized pieces, and we're gonna talk about, what do you think? I want you to get used to learning information. It's not just about learning about stocks and bonds and all this stuff like that. Like, you need to learn life skills that's going to help you. And one of the top skills that Americans lack is, besides saving money and not living paycheck to paycheck, is picking the right person to be in a long-term relationship with, whether it's marriage or not. Okay, so that's where we're going and that's where we are. So this is the School of Greatness podcast. Here we go, here we go, here we go. If you're on here, say hi. If you're watching this on a replay, hashtag replay. I'm proud of myself for being here right now because I need to be in bed right now. I don't feel good. All right, here we go.
Everything you want in that person and then become it.
That's it. From your energetic field and to transform your mindset to start attracting a romantic partner. That's the
so Dr. Joe Dispenza is a neuroscientist, meaning he has a lot to, like, he studies the brain and the neurons in the brain, and that's where he's getting his information from.
Yeah. So, well, let's start at the top, right? I mean, people always ask me, like, how do I create, the person of my dreams that I want in my life? And I always say, take out a piece of paper, write down everything you want in that person, and then become it.
That's it.
Because
that's really validating to me, because I, sometimes when you start forming certain beliefs because of experience in life, and then when you hear people say, like, the science backs it up, you're like, yeah, I was right. Write the list of what you want. Okay. Like I said before, the best of whatever you have had. And sometimes you didn't have that great, but write the qualities that matter to you. Write the things that you want and become those things. Strive every day to become those things, because like attracts like. You know what I mean? You can't be 350 pounds and be like, well, I want to attract a 175 because I just want to manifest. I feel like manifesting today. No, the person that is the same weight as you or similar because of, male, female, like ratio are different. That's who you're going to attract. Like, whoever you're attracting now, that's what you qualify for. We don't like to say that. Like today, I'm gonna pay attention, guys. Tomorrow, I'm gonna do my money class, and we're gonna start this money journey. Super excited. Love. This relationship journey has been going absolutely great. Went from the bottom to the top, like just tweaking at this point. So the money situation, honey, very much. Thank you. I'm excited. So join the journey with me, okay? Join me on the journey. All right. So when you write down that list and you're all of those things, then you can expect those things. It's just common sense. But it's something that we, in our culture, we feel entitled, just like the McDonald's girl. I call it McDonald's Gate.
So many people have so many interesting definitions about what they think love is, right? And so some people have it in terms of need. Some people have it in terms of sexuality. Some people have it in terms of control and dominance and success. And so those are different experiences that really don't lead to this concept called love. And so my theory in a relationship, I was in Australia for 3 weeks, and I was doing this big book tour, and I was on all these television shows and all these radio shows, and I wanted to talk about the science of changing your mind, the neuroplasticity, epigenetics, and every television show they were asking me about soulmates. How do you create? I was just so tired. By the end of this tour, I was at the Establishment Hotel in Sydney, and I was sitting with a CNN reporter, and an attractive woman, and she said, how come I can't create the relationship that I want? And I just was so over it. I just looked at her and I said, let me ask you a question. Would you go out with you?
Period. Would you go out with you? Okay? Would you go out with you? Would you go out with you? And people want to know how to attract the right person, but they don't want to put the work in to develop themselves. You're going to have to dig into that childhood trauma. You're going to have to wonder why you have anxiety, or why you get clingy, or why you get needy, or why you get distance, or why you avoid and walk away, and you have abandonment issues, your daddy issues, your mommy issues. Because to be honest with you, don't nobody want to deal with your issues. I know I don't. I ain't gonna lie. Listen, I know. At this point, okay, at this point, when y'all are young, you know what I mean, and you, let's say you in your 20s, you got some patience. But let me tell you something about a whole nother baby for me. I don't think I have as much patience. I think I had way more. Well, I wasn't patient. Like I wasn't like things change. Like okay, technically, when I was younger and I had to feed kids, I used to hate it. I was like, oh my gosh. But when I got older and I was feeding them, I was like, look at their little mouths. Like you start appreciating stuff when you get older. But otherwise, in general, me ain't got no patience, right? Me ain't got no patience. Can I do it? Of course. I mean, when you're good at something, you are good at it. But the patience. So person is going to have patience. They got to really really like you, be in love with you, to have patience to deal with your stuff. If you're not dealing with it, if you're not working on it, then why would they want to deal with you while you're not working on it? Well, you don't think it's a big deal. So position yourself. If your dream partner, you want them to come ready, then you got to come ready. You got to learn the lessons. You got to go through the journey. I got it all laid out for you. I don't know why you. Oh, well, you got to watch the episode.
Which is really
That's
the
the journey,
fundamental question. So I have a couple theories about relationships that I think are really important, and I
Let me hear
use
your
the
theories,
same
sir.
exact principles with my
Come on.
life. First of all, I will never work in a relationship. And I don't think anybody should work in a relationship.
Meaning it should be easy. It should not be hard work. If you gotta tiptoe through landmines in a relationship, if you gotta avoid talking about this and avoid talking about that, you starting to make it work, doing backflips. And remember Catherine Zeta, what's that Diamond Heist movie? If you gotta do that with the lasers, and she did that really sexy dance and all that, if that's what it's like being in a relationship, then no, that's not the proper relationship for you. It's work.
I think if you're working in a relationship, something is not clicking, something is not right. But if you bring your best and the person that you're with brings their best and you celebrate your life together, then there's constructive interference, there's growth, there's energy. If
He said, "Bring your." Where do y'all see people talking about bringing your best to the table? Your best. Forget the circumstances, right? The best version of you, mentally, physically, emotionally. Bring the best version of you into the relationship, and find somebody that bring the best version of them into a relationship, and y'all celebrate your wins together. He ain't saying nothing about losses. I don't know. Celebrate your wins together, and now there's growth. Of course, you're probably going to touch on things, but you're constantly growing. You're constantly evolving. You know. So yeah, I mean, I believe in, like you got some stuff that you got to work on. It's your issue, right? Work on your issue yourself. Don't just be like, well, we're together, so here's my issue. There you go. It's on you. No, it's on you. He just said celebrate your successes. Celebrate the good stuff together, but work on the bad stuff on your own. That's the thing about reading the Bible is when it's in there, it means something. But if it's not there, it means something too. So based off of what he just did not say, you gotta understand sometimes the opposite is true. I'm not saying all the times, but that is could be true. Okay.
you're not at your best and you show up, more than likely you're going to pick someone or something apart. And it's better that you remove yourself for a period of time and get back into your heart and present yourself at your best. And so
So there's a thing about keeping it real. This is not a keep it real moment situation. You presenting at your best. That's why a lot of this uh hood love, I'm gonna call it, this hood love. I'm watching with No Jumper podcast, and the girl was talking about how she gaming guys for money and all of that stuff like that. it's turned into something else. Okay, so men don't trust women too much because it's turned into hood love. Okay, hood love meaning give me money, give me money, give me money. I'm a woman, give me money. I look good, give me money, right? So it's only certain women. It's not all women. But there's an entitlement. There is, a expectation. It may no. He's sending people money. Good luck. Look, there's entitlement and there's expectation of I deserve as a woman to get this and get that because we're together and this and that and the third. And he just said, like, work on yourself and present your best self. Now, the thing about it, people call it a representative, but at the same time, it's like, is it really a representative if you made up in your mind that you're always going to present your best? Like, this not going to fall. The reason why it's a representative is because it falls off. Emmanuel, Blippy only. Give me the phone. Give me the phone. Give me. I'm watching you. Sorry, guys. So my kids are out of town, actually. So cool. But I just think that the representative part is not so much a negative thing. It's I'm going to present myself in the best light and I'm going to keep this up. Now, if you can't keep it up, now you're being fake. But if that's something that you want to keep up and you want to be on your best behavior at all times and this is how it's going to be, that is not a representative. That's called being your best self. Moving
If you're
on.
not there and you need a mirror or a reflection, then it's good to ask, am I missing something? Am I not seeing myself in some
This
way?
gonna be a good one.
And then there's a healthy conversation when you invite it. But then it's good to ask, am I missing something? You need a mirror or a reflection for a period of time and get back into your heart and present yourself at your best. And so
get back into your heart. Get back into your heart. There are people that decide that they're going to go into something with their walls up, and your discernment got to be on laser 1000, right? So your discernment has to be on laser 1000. I gotta make you popcorn. You want popcorn? Yeah, that's my AirPods. Thank you. Thank you, baby. Hold on. Your discernment got to be on point. So that way, when you choose, now you got to choose to open your heart. And then you give yourself with reason. And then you evaluate how they handled you. If they're not handling you well, then you did not choose well. If you didn't choose well, maybe you were not well. Maybe, what I noticed? We always pick like the bad stuff in a person. If we got the bad stuff, then hold on. And thank you. It's my apple juice. Why are you drinking my juice? I'm giving you the rest. If we're not at our best, right? That's where when we're not at our best, every single time I picked the wrong person, it was because I picked off of my circumstances and not me being at the highest level possible, right? That's when I chose the wrong person. Sometimes it's inevitable. You just don't know, and you only can choose what you have available and go from there and take a risk, right? But a lot of times the red flag is there, but because you got the red flag, come on somebody, you got the red flag yourself, that's when you make it okay for this person to be waived. Their red flag is waived because you have that issue yourself. So you're like, you know what? It's okay. But you got to understand, women, we cannot change men. How you got him, that's how he gonna be, that's how he gonna stay. So if you don't like him the way he is, if you can't accept him, then you're never gonna be able to really love him. So you might as well pass and move on to the next. Once you're married, then you start.
If you're not there and you need a mirror or a reflection, then it's good to ask, am I missing something? Am I not seeing myself in some way? And then there's a healthy conversation when you invite it. But if you're not invited to contribute your opinion, then it's better off that you don't, right? So people always say, I want a loving relationship, but what they really...
A lot of times, and as women, we gotta watch it. If your opinion, you know how they call it unsolicited advice, I want you to practice not giving unsolicited advice. Now you're like, Ruth, why are you doing Ruth in relationships? We ain't asked for this. Yes, you did. Yes, you did when you was like, Ruth, I will buy a house, but I'm all alone and I can't get. So I was asked, okay? I was asked to do the relationship show. Actually, that is facts, okay? So if you're not asked your opinion, baby girl, don't worry about giving it. Don't give it to him. You listen, when I tell my team, like, if you're not, we don't throw our phone numbers out there and hey, do this. We're not pushing ourselves. If you want something, you'll let me know. If you want to interact with us, then we'll go back and forth. But not until you raise your hand, okay? Not until you raise your hand. I remember when I first started in real estate, and I was like, oh my gosh, people are not going to give me their phone number. They're not going to give me their email. No. When I switched my mindset, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm trying to help you get a house. I'm trying to help you get your credit together and give you all the information. I'm being helpful. Baby, them people gave their number so quick, you wouldn't even believe it. I was calling people today, like from years ago. And I still had the information. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh, they're gonna think we're gonna call them all the time. I said, never, ever, ever has that ever happened. Because I supposed to do who got time to be like, I'm sweating you on your phone. Like, if anything, they call me more. If anything, if we being real. So no. You don't got to worry about me, honey. You ain't got to worry about me. I am busy. All right, here we go. But what does that have to do with relationships? We shouldn't give unsolicited advice. Let them ask for your advice so they can actually honor it, see what you think, but don't just be like, this is what I think you should do. And this is what I think you should do. It's giving mothering.
One is happiness, really. So we do these meditations to create love in our lives, and it could be love in familial relationships with your siblings, it could be with your parents, it could be with your friends, or it could be with a significant other. And so if thoughts are the electrical charge in the quantum field and feelings are the magnetic charge in the quantum field, and how you think and how you feel broadcasts an electromagnetic signature that influences every single atom in your life.
Stop. Wait a minute. Did you hear what he said? How you think and how you feel determines everything in your life, says science. Oh, they didn't tell you about that in science class. You talking about manifesting? How you think and how you feel dictate everything in your life. When I was doing a one-on-one call, it was mostly, I just knew like mindset is the biggest part. I remember years ago, and I had a counselor, and she was like, Ruth, like I was going through it. I was going through a very traumatic time in my life. She was like, it's like you're walking above the situation. She's like, it's like you don't even live down here. It's like you're above it. You see the positive part, and you're just operating in that positive part. And that is because I knew to get out of it, I had to keep my mind, I had to keep my mind being productive. I knew mindset was everything. And the only way I could deal with my circumstances is by looking at the bigger picture and then go dwindling it down. I didn't say ignore your circumstance, but I am saying look at the bigger picture. A lot of times we trying to fix the scenario. I just had this call the other day or today, and I had to advise one of my clients that the thing you think is gonna get you, the goal is not it. I need you to get the bigger picture. You're going to need more money. Don't be hustling for little money, little change, and then can't make it. This is a time sensitive matter. I need you to think bigger picture. You need to go get this lump sum, and then you can hustle back and pay it back. But what you can't do is stay in the circumstance and think little by little I'm gonna get myself out. No, you have to have a higher level of thinking, because your level of thinking is what got you in this mess in the first place. Right. And I'm talking in general, not the client. But wherever we are in life, our level of thinking is what got us there in the first place. If you don't have good partners, if you don't have a good history, a good dating history, a good relationship history, it's because you never put enough thought into who you're going to be with. You never put enough thought. Anything to do. Oh, he looked fine. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. Oh, she's fine. That's it. Fine was it. You didn't think about character. You didn't think about nothing else. And so that level of thinking got you burnt. It got you, fine ain't enough. Oh, okay. What else do I need then? Fine ain't gonna help me, relate with you and have conversations and build a life together. That's not gonna be, I can't put fine on it. Right? So when you don't put a lot of thought into it, you're going to get bad results. Then your bad results lead to more bad results. Have you ever noticed that when you pick a person in dating and that was not the person for you, you go into this negative spiral, okay? And you start picking like you just start, okay, like you're not really like, I'm going to do better. This is a problem with women. Women, we choose is the first guy, and then we just keep getting worse. Guys, they keep choosing a better girl. See what I'm saying? They learn from their mistakes, and then they choose a better girl the next time. Now they'll hit anything moving, but they're in a partnership with or in a relationship with, they want a better girl. If we take that mindset, we will keep leveling up to get somebody better. Now, I'm not talking about the delusional people that want something that they ain't got. I told you from the beginning, he said, write down everything that you want in a partner and then become all of that. So let's keep moving. Told y'all it's going to be a good one tonight. Low key.
Sends a signal out, and the feeling is the magnetic field that draws the event back to you. Right. So if you're not in a place where you're in love with life or in love with yourself, or practicing diminishing your emotional reactions to certain people or conditions in your
stop, pause, hold on. Bro, you got to know when it's bars in.
So if you're not in a place where you're in love with life.
Stop. Are you in love with life? Are you in love with life? If you're not in love with life, what is that person going to get? A bunch of complaints, a bunch of struggle, a lot of things. So what is it that you have to do? A lot of times when I'm struggling about whatever I'm going through, I will literally write it out. Literally write out the obstacles and then I do problem solutions. Like the biggest moments in my life. I mean, I think I'll start my daycare like this. Biggest moments in my life, I put all the problems down. I think I heard somebody say it's put all the problems on one side and put the solution on there. That's what you do. You work on it every day. You get all your problems under control. You know what we do? We can't, like, when a room gets messy, everything is one decision. That was a decision that you didn't make. That was another decision that you didn't make until it becomes a messy room. So what do you have to do? You have to go back and fix those decisions and put everything away. Irv, he says, hello, Miss Ruth. Nice to hear you again. Thank you. Hey, Irv, it's nice to hear from you as well. I am at 8 o'clock now. So, yes, summertime hours, 8 p.m. So a lot of times we need to dig in deep. And the reason why this video is so important is a lot of y'all will not go get therapy. And if you're not going to go get therapy, even if it seems boring, I'm trying to bring it to life for you, because sometimes when people talk their neuroscience and big terms, you get a little turned off. But I'm breaking it down and trying to put it in a way that you can, digest it a little bit, So hopefully it's something that we can work on together. All right. So he says, are you in love with life? What's the next one?
or in love with yourself.
Are you in love with yourself? Ooh! Are you in love with yourself? Are you proud of yourself? Have you accomplished some of the things that you wanted to accomplish? A lot of women get stuck between, yo, I want to do this stuff, but I also want a relationship, but I know that I got to choose between this and that. But if your career is what's making you happy, you may have to take a period in time where you're just focusing on that. And then your relationship is going to have to be something that gives you something your career cannot, which it can. I'm going to say that again. If you're a woman and you want a career and you want a relationship, career can come, go, stay, whatever. But if the career is going to make you happy, proud of yourself, love your life, then you may have to spend some time developing it. You understand? I had to spend time developing my real estate career. I had to spend some time getting to know the ins and outs of it. I had to spend some time to build up the database. Oh, Chuck says, hi, Ruth. Hey, Chuck, how are you? Right? Whatever it is you want to, you cannot be sitting here in a career you don't like, right? And then think like, oh, I'm finna get married. I'm finna find me a woman. No, you're building on a bad foundation. Find out what you like. Find out what your purpose is. And then you can add that once you're happy, once you're proud of yourself. You don't need her to validate you. Anything she gives you, your cup is already full. Okay? Yesterday, the cup is already full. You're happy with your life. You're good. There's water in here. It's to the top because you have a happy life and you have happy circumstances. Okay? Now, it's not going to always be perfect, but even if it's not perfect, how do you perceive it? Are you grateful every day? You may have a rough life. You may have a tough life. But if you are perceiving it as, I'm grateful because I have this, I'm grateful because I have that, that is a way for you to put yourself in the proper mindset to attract positive things and people in your life.
Or practicing diminishing your emotional reactions to certain people or conditions.
Diminishing your reactions to negative people, pretty much. Like, negative people don't bother you. I remember somebody was saying something and somebody was not minding their business. And I was like, I was going into it and I was like, and I can't, and I was like, yo, this girl don't even know, she had nothing to do with it. Why? I said, this is literally the last time I'm gonna let her push my buttons. I don't even see this girl, right? And I was like, this is the last time I'm gonna let her do this and basically take me on this emotional journey unnecessarily and me explaining myself. So I was like, you know what? I gotta stop reacting. Oh, child, well, she said, oh, okay. And that's it. Because that negative energy that you put out, it's like these people can drop a bomb in your life and then off you go. You can't be like that. You can't be irritated and impatient and angry. Like, that's going to blow up in your face.
In your life, and you're living in anger or hostility or judgment or fear,
you just said that.
And you want a loving relationship, there is no magnetic field for you to draw that to you.
He said you're in anger and hostility, but you wanna get love. Anger and hostility, but you want to have love, right? Just like Miss McDonald's, right? She got anger and hostility, but she wanted the love of getting all the McDonald's for the kids. But ma'am, you're not going to get it through anger and hostility. You could have been like, well, dang, I noticed that you just bought one. Like, is it a problem? Like, why you can't get more? Can I give you some money so you can go get my other kids some? Instead of anger and hostility, it's just more than one way to handle something.
And in fact, if you say to me, well, it's that person or that circumstance that's caused me to feel this way.
Woo, don't do that. Do not do that. Do not give your power away. Do not blame other people. Oh, it's them, it's them, it's them. No. Don't give your power away. I want you to go back and think about the people that it's not working out with them. And, they done Like, you did what you did, but it don't really affect me, bother me. It's okay. Like, I'm fine. I'll make it. You know what I mean? Like, go back and stop reacting to negativity. Guys, is this making sense to y'all?
Then I
It's like you say you want love, but you got drama and stress and anger and hostility. And, you know,
would say,
no.
meaning that person or that circumstance is controlling the way you feel and the way you think.
So wait, didn't he say your thinking control your feeling? So now, if your thinking was in charge and it affects your feeling, when you give it to somebody else, now somebody outside of you is your puppet master. Ooh, sheesh. Somebody outside of you is your puppet master. Somebody outside, hey Emmanuel, Blippy, give me the phone. Give me the phone. Emmanuel. Somebody outside of you. Hold on, he's texting somebody. 1 second. Who are you texting? Oh my Jesus. Can you stop doing this, please? All right, you about to go to sleep. He is going to sleep right after this. I'm excited. Okay. But so am I. I'm
And
getting
anything that controls the way we feel and the way we think, we are victims to, right? So most people are unconsciously responding to the conditions in their environment, experiencing emotion.
A lot of times you're allowing other people to dictate your emotions and your feelings. This makes a lot of sense. A lot of it's like mostly control yourself. How you gonna let them you existed without them? You gonna be fine without them. Now you're gonna say they get to dictate how you feeling? Absolutely not. Yeah, it's your job to keep you running. It's your job to keep you happy. It's not their job to make you happy. And if they're not doing their part, why are they there? They don't need to be there. And that's on you. So you cannot allow somebody else control your feelings, and it's a reverse because your thinking was supposed to control your feelings. It's like the input, right? Well, I'll leave that alone.
That are derived from the hormones of stress, those emotions cause us to feel separate from our dreams. They heighten our senses, so if we can't see them, it doesn't exist. The threat or the danger puts us in emergency mode, and we can think positively about the relationship we want. We could send the signal out into the field. We could have pictures. We could remind ourselves of what it is. But if you're not drawing the experience back to you, because your response to the environment is actually weakening your organism, it's weakening your response, is actually weakening the body.
Your response weakens your body. Yo, by the way, okay. Look, these neuroscientists, honey, they have changed my entire life. Like literally, they're basically saying if you want to avoid uh Alzheimer's, then you can't have obesity. You can't be obese, and you can't have diabetes and high blood pressure, right? Then you can't have a lot of sugar, So sugar and caffeine basically make you dumber. I said, oh my gosh. So it's really good to learn like what things really affect you. We did not have this. If America was smart, we would have classes on this. Our education was not designed to make us the smartest people. It was designed to make us the hardest workers. I want you to remember that. And with that in mind, that's why I seek knowledge, right? My people perish for the lack of knowledge. That's why we perish. That's why we don't have, because we're not seeking the knowledge. If you seek the knowledge, if somebody's bringing to you the knowledge, chew that up, take it in, and say, you know what? I'm going to apply this into my life.
then you will be, as a victim, more vulnerable to the conditions in your environment, whether large or small. And I'm talking about microorganisms as well. So if you wanted a true relationship where it was fundamentally based on this concept called love. Now let's talk about that, because we practice this a lot in the work that we do. If you could truly begin to practice trading those survival emotions every day for elevated emotions, and you practiced opening your heart, it's a
I'm back again. And let me ever say, what's up? Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Practice opening your heart. Have we not said that? Yes, we have. Practice opening your heart. A lot of y'all, I remember there was a time where I couldn't feel nothing and I couldn't love. I'll be vulnerable. I'll be honest. It was tough. I didn't feel nothing for nobody. I'm trying to tell you. And once I start opening up my heart, I was like, listen, this is dangerous. But some people, they just can't do it. They just can't. They just allowed life to just stomp them and was like, I can't get up. I'm falling and I can't get up. But you got to learn how to let go of survival. I remember telling God, I said, God, paying rent is ghetto. That's what I told him. I said, it's ghetto because I can see how us being in the grind, paying for transportation, car insurance, rent, mortgage, all of that stuff, it keeps us from never discovering our purpose, why we're here, to help other people. You're on the planet to help other people. One part of the code I cracked, I was like, yo, if I help other people, like I stay getting blessed. I may not get blessed from the direct source of who I was helping, but it comes to me another way. And once I figured that out, I said, oh, it's go time. It's go time. I bring value. You know, I had my assistant was telling me, like, you know, like I love when people be like, oh, you know, I know Ruth is Ruth your favorite realtor. You know what I mean? So it's like, because she's like, oh, she's so funny because I bring value. Because people are like, well, I've been following you from the beginning. You know what I mean? Bringing value. I have the privilege of holding a special place in somebody's heart because I brought them value one day and through a video, through a phone call, I remember doing, oh my gosh, I used to do these every day. I used to always like get on the phone. We talk, I would encourage, we would talk about all types of things in life. I would help them with their real estate stuff because I knew they weren't ready to buy a house. But I was like, okay, how can I help you today? Whatever I can do. Operating on that level, that higher level versus survive all the time, it brings you another level of joy, and happiness that it's unexplainable. It's unexplainable. Ruth, because of you, I went and started this business, and I heard you say, you know, I could do it. Or Ruth, because of you, you know, I had my coworkers tell me I'll never be able to afford a house, but because of you, like, and people, I'm on the phone with them. She's like, I got roaches everywhere. I gotta get out of here. Or I got bullet holes in my house, and you know, I used to get those calls every year, at least once a year. Somebody from North Philly used to call me. Last night, it was bullets in my house, Ruth. I need to buy a house now. What do I gotta do, Ruth? What do I gotta do? I don't get those calls anymore. I'm glad I don't. But it's sad. It's sad to but they had somebody to call. And if I wasn't putting myself out there, then who would they call about it? You know what I mean? I remember not having nobody to call when I wanted to be a realtor. I remember what it was like when people was like, oh, you don't got no money, and they act like you was the poorest thing in the world. I'm like, yo, we can get the money. Like, it's not a problem. It's just that we don't know how much we need or what we got to do to buy the house. So people was like, one realtor was like, listen, let me tell you what you need. You need this and that and that and this and that. And then got off the phone with me real quick. I said, thank you. Because nobody wanted to tell us what to do. My point is, you got to bring value. You got to stop living in survival mode. You got to live above that. You know what I mean? A lot of times our solutions are temporary. Our solutions are small. And the problem is we rather do the small solution than the big job. That's why we go back to the smaller solution, because we don't see ourselves on that level. Can I see this real quick? Well, then go over there. It's too loud. Does that make sense? So the solution is the one thing, the big thing, the purpose thing in your life. But you keep making all these other things the priority. You keep making working for somebody else the priority instead of building a career for yourself. And that's why I say, that's when he says stop living in survival mode. Just get a job to get just enough to pay all the bills, to do it all over again. Like I said, God, it's ghetto. It's ghetto just to pay bills. Like, let's invest. Let's grow our wealth. Let's focus on generational wealth. Let's build our skills. Let's get another license so we can open up another door. All right, I know what I'm talking about. Okay.
It's a skill that has to take place where you move out of survival. So people say, well, I can't open my heart. I can't feel love. And I say, well, what do you practice feeling? Because whatever you practice feeling, you're feeling most of the time. And that feeling could be guilt, but you're so used to it, you wouldn't even know it's guilt. It just feels like you.
So instead of love, you'd rather have guilt. That, you know how we feel guilt, like I'm not doing this for this person, I'm not doing that for that person, you're just not catching up enough. Versus just saying, I'm going to stand on love. I'm going to open my heart. I'm going to give love. I'm going to be the best version of myself.
Are most people practicing a feeling, or are they just reacting to how they feel?
Well, they're reacting to their external environment.
What's happening?
Or they're reacting to some stray thought in their mind, and every thought produces a chemical. So if they have an unhappy thought, they feel unhappy. If they,
ladies, the unhappy thoughts, right? Because women are slightly more miserable than men. Like, it's been proven, it's been shown. That's why we nag. If you nag, that's why you nag, because you're just conditioned to be a little bit more miserable, right? Instead of seeing the good, we just look at the bad. But at the end of the day, like, if you think about it, those are the things. You ever see a mom be like, oh, you need to tie your shoes, fix it. We just look at the details too much. Hey, I figured it out. Women, we look at the details too much. We look at all the things that's not right with it. Oh, like they was looking at a shoe in one of the Facebook groups I'm in, and I couldn't figure. I was like, yeah, it don't look right. But all the women knew. I was like, y'all, and they like, well, you need to put this with a cream shoe and not a white shoe. The white is throwing it off. I said, look at y'all, and so many people said the same thing. And I was like, look how amazing we are, where we can see something and see what's wrong with it and how to make it better. But that same feeling, we could flip around and make our lives miserable because we constantly looking at the things that could be better versus the things that are actually good. So basically, he's saying operate from a place of positivity and not negativity, which I agree.
have a judgmental thought, it produces chemicals that makes you feel polarized, right? So
how much does one thought change your chemical body?
Oh, that's an interesting question. So let's just I'm gonna put this on hold here.
Yes.
So, yeah, because I was like, he's in the middle of something.
The stronger the emotions that we feel from the problems and conditions in our life, the more altered we feel inside of us, the more we pay attention to what's causing it outside of us.
Watch it. This is how I know it's deep. So a lot of times, all right. So a lot of times, let me give you the skinny on real estate. Okay, let me tell you the skinny. A lot of times, if I have a situation in real estate and we go off of, most of the time somebody else saying something's wrong, right? And if we go off of that information in a negative way, and we just say, well, 9 times out of 10, this is actually wrong, even though the person's not qualified. Hey, the person's not qualified to give this kind of information, because my knee-jerk reaction, this happened, okay? The person was not qualified to give this. Even though they were an inspector, they were not that specific inspector, and they gave an estimate. So automatically buyer thinks, I got to spend $40,000. I said, but what about the possibility? Because it was nothing we could do. And it was like, all we can do is wait for the inspection. But just the fact that we stood on the negative information versus, and I said, and what happens if nothing's wrong with it? What happens? See, some people are like, oh, you want the bright side of things. 7 or 9 times out of 10. No, I'm going to give you 9 times out of 10. My positivity, but I'm realistic as well. 9 times out of 10, my positivity in the real estate transaction gets me to close a higher percentage rate than other realtors. I'm going to tell you that again. 9 times out of 10, my positivity helps me with a good dose of reality, helps me to confidently close at a higher rate than other realtors, because I have experienced other realtors say stuff like, oh, well, this came out of contract 3 times, but he's the most negative realtor I've ever heard. Wimpy, whiny, oh my gosh, in the background, everything was wrong. Oh my gosh. I've never seen this. I said this before. I've never seen the guys. Like, there's some really got like some guy. I don't want to call them feminine, but they got some tendencies, boy, and they like men, right? But when it comes down to pressure, they're like, oh my gosh, like this is a bad sign. I said, how's it a bad sign? This happened, that happened. Oh well, I said, listen, okay, thank you for the light. You talking about a bad sign, and we're gonna go off of a bad sign. Let me tell you something about my God. Let me tell you about my God. If I start the transaction, it's a 9.5 times out of 10. Knock on wood, but I'm closing it. I just be like, well, don't even give it to me. I'm not gonna close. That's how I feel. If I don't think it's gonna close, I'll let you know up front. We go from the beginning and negotiate all the way up to the end up front. So everybody feels confident about what I said, what I did, what I put in the contract. And sometimes it get a little tricky. And sometimes what I put in there, they're like, oh my gosh, now what? This is bad. This bad thing is happening. And then what happens? Nothing. That's what happens. Absolutely nothing. What you thought I put in the contract to be like, oh, now I got to spend money. And I ain't no. And they ain't had to spend nothing. You see what I'm saying? But the positivity is what helps us to close. So if you're focused on the negative stuff, you're gonna, like, that person literally almost walked away from her dream house because somebody said something negative and she stood on the negative side of it versus going to the positive side. And I said, well, I understand. And I was like, and this is what I think is going on. I think honestly, it was more than one person being negative. Right? And, or they give you the blind positivity. Everything's great. Everything. I'm not the everything's great kind of person. Absolutely not. I'm realistic. But I'm like, we can get a solution no matter what. And long story short, it all worked out, because if you stand on your positive thinking and your higher level thinking of problem solving, right? And so getting solutions to problems, then you will work it out. But if you're all, I'm scared, like, right? If I'm not making fun of nobody. I did that in a video before. I was like, excuse me. Yeah, so that's why it's important. It's important.
So if you have an event in your life, like an experience in your life that has a strong emotional charge to it, and you don't feel like your normal self, you feel this alarm system switch on. You're going to narrow your focus on the cause, and the brain's going to take a snapshot, and that's called a long-term memory, right? Mm-hmm. So then what people don't know is that every time they think about that event, they're producing the same chemistry in their brain and body as if the event was occurring in that moment. So the highly charged event is actually producing the emotion, and the body is so objective that it doesn't know the difference between the real experience that's creating the emotion.
Stop. Too much. Ladies, men, how many times you had a traumatic experience, and when you, oh my God, what's up with today? What's up with today? One thing I like about God is this. So I took a class and they were saying how you need to go back into your old experiences and ask God, where was he? Where were you when this bad thing was happening to me? And God will begin to heal. Oh, I'm giving you gems and secrets today. God will begin to heal that memory for you. Again, I say, you have to go back in the past and ask God, where were you when this bad thing was happening to me? Where were you? Because something traumatic happened to me. I lost the baby, my third child. So I was thinking I couldn't have kids. I had 2 back-to-back miscarriages. Every year I would have a miscarriage for 2 years. And what happened was like this supernatural thing happened, and I felt like something was sitting next to me, and I was like, this thing is sitting. I was like, I want to cry. I want to be upset, but this thing is sitting next to me, and I feel like I'm like, you know how you have the outer body experience, like you supposed to be crying, but you're okay. And because this person was next to me, and this dark, shadowy figure was like maybe an angel or something, I was like, I'm straight, I'm cool, I'm be all right. I may be crying right now, but I knew everything was going to be okay. That is example of how you can heal your past wounds, how you can heal your past memories. If you ask God, where was he? Something happened and I almost, I almost fell on my face, and I was like, God, where were you? He was like, I'm the reason why you didn't fall. I said, okay, God. So every time you think about it and you think about how God came through for you versus, I can't believe this bad thing happened to me, then you won't be producing all these negative emotions. You won't be producing all of these hormones that's gonna mess you up and your emotions. So that was a little pro tip I'll give y'all. Spiritual pro tip. Absolutely. You got to reframe everything. Go back and reframe
everything. The person is fabricating by thought alone. The body's believing. It's so objective. It's believing it's in the same environmental.
They always taught us this. Like if you are visualizing, like let's say you want to visualize yourself getting into like a big mansion or whatever, and you sit there and you do that visualization every single day, your body doesn't know that you're not there. Your body thinks it's really there. So it's no different. So that's how you manifest. So if you have these memories, this future that you are planning for your dream partner, you have to visualize, wow, this partner does exist. I remember making decisions based off of fear. Like that person don't exist. I can never get that. I can never this, and that, and third. Just negative. I was negative when I was younger. I was super negative when I was younger. Right? And then I was like, you know what? When I got older, I was like, well, that didn't work out. So this person must really exist, honey. Cause they were so worth it that I had to light everything else on fire.
Experience. So the strong, the highly charged emotional events, you some people think of their ex, and the thought of that person
makes them sick.
Makes them feel out of balance. So
one image, one thought in their mind makes them feel out of balance.
So all you need is an image and an emotion. Thought and a feeling, a stimulus and a response, and you're conditioning your body emotionally into the past. So now the memories, and this is just not in the brain now, it's in the body. Okay, so now that thought of that person is actually creating a response in the body that's consuming the body's energy for growth and repair, consuming the body's energy to create, because in survival, it's not a time to create. In survival, it's time to run, fight, and hide. So
that's deep right there. Survival is not a time to create, which is why you should always, once you know your purpose and it involves creation, it's always going to involve creating something, right? Whatever's in here, whatever God gave you here. Even if you have to operate in survival, if you get the creative piece, like, for example, if I wake up, like right now, I'm waking up at 4 in the morning. I'm about to put him to bed. I'm about to wake up at 4. I've been doing it all week. So you could create in that time, and then you can go back to handling your business. This is all whatever your life is, whatever you make it to be. If you don't like your life, scratch it and start over and start putting into your life the things that you want in your life. I don't have a life that I didn't want. I wanted this and that and that and that. I may not have everything I want, but I chose it and I'm okay with it. This is the path that I chose when what was it, 3 years ago? Yeah, 3 years ago, I started going down this path. But a lot of times we think that if it don't happen tomorrow, then we're not even going to start down the path. No, I like starting things and then giving myself time to develop it. And that keeps me engaged and loving my life. Does that make sense? My hobbies are the things that I want to create because that's my major purpose is to create a life that I love. And it's not hobby so I can have fun, but it's a hobby so I can build the life, my dream life. And once I build my dream life, then I can do other hobbies, have fun, or fun. We ain't got time. We ain't got time.
The problem is that it becomes a subconscious program. It's no longer a conscious process. It now is a subconscious process. So now the body has been conditioned.
Did y'all catch that? Remember, subconscious is when you're not thinking about it. It just happens automatically. It's like underneath. But conscious is when you purposely are deciding to put that in your life.
Into resentment, into unhappiness, into fear, anxiety, whatever it is. And so she's back to our concept of bringing love into your life. So you say to that person, okay, open your heart. And they're going to say, are you kidding me? I was injured. I was hurt. I'm not going to do that. Let me see your cards first, right? And once I see your cards, then I'll open up a little bit. So we protect this, right?
So imagine one person open up their heart. To his point, imagine one person completely opening up their heart, and the other person's like, well, first I want you to open up your heart and all of that, and then I'll give you a little bit. I'll think about opening up my heart. What's this person gonna think? This person's gonna be like, wait, I opened up my heart to you, and I'm fully available and open, and you're barely trying to match me. You didn't do it first, and you're barely trying to keep up with me. Like, you're just pushing love away. Because you're not whole, because you didn't heal, because you're not at your best. Like, that's literally the worst thing you can do if you're trying to attract great love in your life. It's literally the worst thing you could do. Be unhappy and then close your heart.
So now in that state of survival, the research shows that the long-term effects of those stress hormones are pushing the genetic buttons that are creating disease. The body can't live in emergency mode for that period of time. So in a sense, the person is making themselves sick by thought alone. The thoughts are making them sick.
I believe that. Do you ever notice how somebody told me a long time ago, when you are a worrying person, it causes cancer. Or if you're a person that worries a lot, stresses a lot, you can get hypertension. Like all of these diseases, meaning your thoughts. Your thoughts can produce a disease. And the science is backing it up. He just said it.
Literally. So the problem is now the body is conditioned into the past, and it's the mind. And once the body
is the mind,
the body becomes the mind emotionally. So now all of this energy is stored in the body, and now the person now has to leave their unhappiness and step out into the unknown. They have to get out of the familiar feelings that has defined them. So they'll say, I can't really feel joy. I can't really feel love. And what they're really saying is, I've been conditioning my body emotionally so much into the past that I can't feel anything else other than what I know.
Anger, resentment.
He said, I can't feel anything else other than what I know. You know what I realized? A lot of times we are so conditioned by our past, we don't leave room for the future. It's just like your whole life is about your past. I remember not remembering. I was like, yo, I was what? No, that didn't happen. It's not that I'm denying it. It's just like that was 5 roofs ago, right? Not even 5 years ago, 5 roofs ago. That was such a lower level version of me. I don't remember those. I always say, I don't remember those people. Don't bring them people to me. I don't remember those people. I don't know those people. I don't know those people. I cannot remember. I cannot remember those feelings that I felt. Honey, you just be in your mind like, what was I thinking? Because you left the past in the past. And yes, people be trying to creep up and poke you and push your buttons. But at the end of the day, you be like, who are you? You're a stranger. I don't know who you are. I don't know why you're trying to push my buttons. But then it becomes familiar and it's like, oh yeah, I did go through that. Well, whatever.
And pain,
Yeah.
suffering.
Psychology calls those normal human states of consciousness. Those are altered states of consciousness.
So normal states of consciousness are these kind of negative feelings?
No, I'm saying that those states of survival, people say anger, fear, those are normal things.
Gotcha.
No, those are in survival. Those are altered states. The survival chemicals are actually knocking your brain and body out of balance. You're out of balance in that moment. And if you keep doing that, the imbalance is now the new balance. And now you're altered emotionally. So back to the concept of love.
He said anger. Wait, what did he say? When you in survival mode?
The survival chemicals are actually knocking your brain and body out of balance. You're out of balance in that moment.
It wasn't.
The normal states of consciousness are these kind of negative feelings?
No, I'm saying that those states of survival, people say anger, fear, those are normal things.
Anger and fear.
Those are in survival.
If you are operating in anger and fear, then you're in survival mode. There's no way you can love if you stay in survival mode. But he's saying it's a choice. You have to get your thoughts and your feelings aligned and out of survival mode in order to be an elevated thinking to love. It's kind of like the Maslow hierarchy of needs, right? You're trying to survive. You're trying to get back your food, your shelter, all of this stuff. Emmanuel, you got to get down. You're trying to get all of these things. Your belonging is higher. That's a higher level where the belonging part. This is the survival part, the safety. Then there's belonging. That's where you go get in your relationships. Some of us be sitting here trying to survive so much that they don't have time or the mindset or the capacity to love. Emmanuel, that's my work. He will find my work and scribble on the work that I was doing that day. Sure will. Good thing my contracts are online.
Those are altered states. The survival chemicals are actually knocking your brain and body out of balance. You're out of balance in that moment. And if you keep doing that, the imbalance is now the new balance. And now you're
so your negative state can be your new normal.
Altered emotionally. So back to the concept of love.
The concept of
love. So
the
person can theoretically, intellectually, philosophically say, oh, I want this type of person. She's got to be this way. He's got to look this way. He's got to be like this. And they're basically saying, I want something that represents all the things that I no longer want, right? And so they're creating with their brain and mind, which is perfect. The problem is that if you can't feel the emotion of your future, your manifestation of love before it's made manifest. When people say, well, when my relationship happens, when I find Mr. Right, then I'm going to feel love.
That means if you're not looking for the one, if you're not ready emotionally, like I'm looking for the one, I'm looking for my partner, I feel these emotions, this is what I want, then even if they come in your life, you're not going to know what to do with it because you're not vibrating on that level.
Waiting for the outer environment to change, to take away this feeling of it.
Come on. That means you have to cultivate love on the inside, not only for yourself, but for your future partner. And that's where, when I did the show, what was it? How to Value a Good Man. Bro, if you hurt yourself, how to value a good man, where I was already in the future talking about this and that is great and this and that and right? Because I was developing a picture of what this relationship was going to be and what I was going to value in that man. So people get surprised. It's like, okay, well, how do you know so fast? Or how do you know? Because it's not like something I just thought of today when I met you. if you meet the criteria, right? If you meet the criteria of what I was looking for, and I already have emotions about this, like he said, that and I'm already operating on love and not survival. That's how people fall in love and manifest their dream partner, because they were already in love with the idea of their partner beforehand. If you do it the other way, it's kind of like faith. Ooh. It's kind of like faith. If you do it the other way, if you do it the faith way, it's like, what's it? I see it when I believe it. I believe it first, and then I'll see it, right? That's faith. But I believe it when I see it. That's not faith. And that's what when you're operating in that negative space where it's like, oh, prove it to me. And then maybe I'll love them then, and this and that. And you're just messing it up.
Anger, resentment, emptiness. But they forgot that
you got all these negative emotions because you didn't open your heart ahead of time. And now what? You're going to put on a new person? They're not going to be attracted to that. They're going to feel that. There is either way, it's going to, you can either manifest something positive or manifest something negative. It's up to you. But are you really going to do that to your dream partner? You find your dream partner and now it's like, oh, okay. And you're going to feel some type of way. You're going to be mad like, okay, this person's perfect. I dreamed them up. They were perfect. And now I got all these emotions and I got all this stuff wrong with me. And that's messing me up with you. You really want to do that? Or you want to bring your best self like we talked about in the beginning of the show?
Reality. In other words, when it finally appears that I'm going to feel love, that's cause and effect. We're waiting for something to happen. If you're feeling the lack and the emptiness, then you're keeping your relationship at arm's length because you don't have the magnetic field to draw to you. So
you telling me? So that means, wait, what did he just say just now?
You don't have the magnetic field to draw.
Oh, he said you keeping the relationship at arm's length. Wait, you wanted to find your partner, but now because you did not prepare for your partner, now you keeping the relationship at arm's length. You're keeping it away. You have your walls up. That person got to prove this and prove that. Let me tell you something. Ain't nobody sticking around for all that. If that person's ready and you're not, they're gonna be gone.
Something to happen. If you're feeling the lack and the emptiness, then you're keeping your relationship at arm's length because you don't have the magnetic field to draw to you. So,
wait, did you catch that? That means you can't even get the relationship because he's saying your thoughts and your feelings. And it's not just, he's saying in science, honey. Can I help you, sir?
Emotions that come from these energy centers, the lower energy centers in our body, do have frequencies. There's chemistry involved, but they have a different agenda. So now we ask the person, in words, when it finally appears that I'm going to feel love, that's cause and effect. We're waiting for something to happen. If you're feeling the lack and the emptiness, then you're keeping your relationship at arm's length because you don't have the magnetic field.
Meaning you can keep your blessing away from you. You can keep your partner, your dream partner, away from you because you're feeling the lack and the emptiness. You're feeling the desperation and the need. You can keep that person away because you don't have what it takes to draw them in. See, positive people are attracted to positivity. Love is attracted to love. Not I got love and you got not boundaries, but a wall up. You know what I mean? Keep you away. Stay away. I'm angry. I'm upset. I'm in survival mode. You don't have the tools to cultivate love in that relationship.
Draw to you. So the emotions that come from these energy centers, the lower energy centers in our body, do have frequencies. There's chemistry involved, but they have a different agenda. So now we ask the person, can you teach your body emotionally what the future will feel like before it's made manifest. That means you can't wait for your relationship to feel love. You have to reverse that battleship and understand feeling love now is going to be the magnet. And if you can hold the
He said you got to feel love first, and then you can attract your dream partner.
vision of your future, a clear intent magnet. And if you can hold the vision of your future, a clear intention, with a coherent brain, organize signals into the field, and you could actually crack this thing open and practice getting so present in the moment that you're not anticipating the next moment or trying to predict the future. And you're no longer romancing the emotions of your past. You can find that sweet spot of the generous present moment. The familiar past is the known emotionally.
One second, y'all.
Feeling love now is going to be the magnet. And if you can hold the vision of your future, a clear intention, with a coherent brain, organize signals into the field, and you could actually crack this thing open and practice getting so present in the moment that you're not anticipating the next moment or trying to predict the future. And you're no longer romancing the emotions of your past.
Stop. If he was a rapper, he'd be spitting bars. He said, stay so present in the moment. Here, come on. Stop doing that. He says, stop romanticizing the past. Like, what good is romanticizing the past gonna do? You don't have it anymore. Whatever went down, it went down. It is what it is. All we know is our past. Instead of being present in right now in this moment, what you could build, what you could have, and not being also concerned with the future as well.
Find that sweet spot of the generous present moment. The familiar past is the known emotionally. The predictable future is the habituation of autopilot, being unconscious, and programs. Those are both knowns. There's only one place where the unknown exists. That's the present moment. So if you could work with your body to the point that it trusts you enough to feel so safe that you have conquered it in a certain way that it can actually relax into the present moment, and it's not worried about what's going to happen next or what's going on around you, or that you need to eat, you need to pee, you need to move.
Jesus said, stay in your body, stay in the present, stay so that you won't be engaged in your past or overly concerned about your future.
You got
That's like almost being like, oh, I'm grateful for what I have right now. I'm grateful for this and that, versus what can I have? What can I do? And being in that survival mode again.
On all your drives, and you're ready to create that moment where you're present. If you could begin to work with your heart and start to breathe and start to practice feeling love. In the beginning, you would feel foolish or gratitude. Why would I feel love if it hasn't happened? Well, that's because you've been hypnotized into waiting for your world to change to feel the emotion from the experience.
He said you got to practice feeling love. Practice feeling love.
But according to the quantum model, your emotion ahead of the experience, when you combine that clear intention with the elevated emotion and you feel love, your body's so objective that it's actually believing it's living in that future.
Hey, the body thinks the dream partner's already here. You think that some other person's gonna make you happy, but in reality, you gotta already be happy and feel loved. And not think an outside thing is going to make you feel love. And as you feel love, you are attracting and pulling in your dream partner closer and closer to you. So when you shutting down your heart, when you're going through painful situations and you're like, I'm not going to trust people no more. I'm not going to do this no more. I'm not going to do that no more. A lot of us want to say, oh, I'm doing self-love. I ain't got time for this and then the third. But if you're shutting down your heart and you're not opening up your heart, are you doing it right?
In the present moment. And your body now is beginning to change. You are beginning to change your biology to reflect what you're about to experience in your future. So the stronger the love you feel, the more altered you feel inside of you, the more you're going to pay attention to that picture in your mind. Stimulus, response, memory, emotion, thought, and feeling. But now you're remembering your future instead of remembering your past.
Look his face. Yo, this for my intellects, all right? This for my intellects and romantics and all of that. Yo, his face was like, ow! He said, instead of romanticizing the past, you're romanticizing your future. And ladies, we could be really good at this.
Logically, it's actually the same.
How do we remembering your future as opposed to
remembering your future? That's
right.
True.
It's the same thing biologically.
The body experiences the same way by thinking and imagining something that hasn't happened yet, but it will happen.
Okay, well,
and imagining something vividly from the past that happened. Sometimes our brains trick ourselves into thinking it happened in a different way, doesn't it?
Yeah, but that's incidental. It's none of your business how it happened. In fact,
it's how you interpret it.
Exactly. It's your perception, right? So then the stronger the emotion you feel from some outer experience in your life, the more altered you feel, the more the brain freezes the frame and takes a snapshot. Well, now you're freezing a frame in the outer environment. But if you're truly in the present moment and you know exactly what you want, and you begin to teach your body emotion, start practicing opening that heart, it's amazing what happens. The moment that heart begins to open, we've measured this so many times, Lewis, on a scan, on a real-time brain scan, when the heart moves into this kind of rhythm, when you're feeling frustration, when you're feeling impatient, when you're feeling resentment, you are stepping on the gas pedal and you're stepping on the brake at the same time, and the heart is pumping against a closed system, and it causes an erratic beat. It becomes incoherent, and energy literally leaves the heart. Now you no longer believe in your future. You can't put your heart into your future. You can't trust the outcome because there's no energy there. It's being used and consumed somewhere else, so energy is leaving the brain as well. But once energy starts to move into the heart, we've seen this so many times, and it starts to beat in this rhythm, like banging a drum or dropping a pebble in water, pebble after pebble. The heart begins to create a wave of energy right to the brain, like taking a big sheet.
That's happiness.
And going like that, and then all of a sudden you see this wave, and the brain gets this rush of energy, and that change in brain wave patterns, that wave is carrying information. And the person starts to get a very clear idea. They see their future very clearly. Now that energy is causing them to move into very coherent alpha brainwave patterns, which is the state of creation. This is when you no longer hear the voice in your head that's talking to you, that you listen to and believe is the truth.
I'm not good enough.
Yeah, whatever that is. That's called the default mode. It suppresses the default mode network, and the next thing you know, you start seeing in pictures and images. You start dreaming. And that's the imagination. That's the creative state. So now you start naturally imagining the heart is the creative center. We got to put our heart in the future. It's got to be open and activated. So now when you start falling in love with your future, oxytocin is released in the brain and in the heart. Oxytocin signals nitric oxide. Nitric oxide signals another chemical called endothelial-derived relaxing factor. And just like when your sexual organs get filled with blood because you're aroused, the same thing happens here as it would happen somewhere else. And literally the arteries in the heart and lungs engorge. And now your heart feels full and it's thumping in order, and you're in the present moment. Now, once that happens and it's beating in rhythm, the heart produces an external magnetic field up to 3 meters wide. Now, you're in survival, you're drawing from the field and turning it into chemistry. When you get energy in the heart, it's causing a change in the brain, and all of a sudden it's resetting the baseline for trauma. And now here you have a magnetic field. Now the heart is your magnet. It is the center of creation. And now that energy is frequency. And frequency carries information. And you can lay the thought of your new relationship on that energy because it's consistent with it. You cannot lay the thought of your new relationship in need. That's a different energy. What do you need? Well, if you're feeling needing someone to love me, yeah, of course, that's a different frequency. That's a different energy.
What happens when you're in a need state as opposed to an attraction state?
Well, you're in lack. So now you're trying, you're grasping, you're controlling, you're forcing, you're trying to predict, you're overthinking, overanalyzing. And that's how people live their relationships. So then if you are going to prepare your brain and body for a new relationship, then you would have to become love completely every day. And that signal then that you're sending out into the field can carry the thought.
Y'all hear that? Become love every day. Do not operate from, I need you, I need this has to work. That's a different energy. But if you just become love and open up your heart, you will begin to attract the right partner in your life. Yo, wow. If you want here, say hi. Watch this on replay. Hashtag replay. Y'all gonna have to watch this from the jump.
Here's the cool
it's so
part.
good.
When the heart is activated like that,
it's like a long run on saying, I'm trying to wait for him to finish his thought, but his thought just he just freestyling at this point. Okay.
You feel so whole, so in love with life, so satisfied in the moment, so exuberant that it's impossible to want. Now you're no longer in lack. Now you're so whole that you will magnetize wholeness in your life. The person who's the person that fits the mold energetically, that would be the same as you and yet complement you, so that the two can become one, right? And then instead of in contrast, in union, you exchange information equal to that emotional state. In other words, people use each other to reaffirm their dependence on certain emotions. You have certain people you complain with about politics or whatever.
Right.
They complain back about their lives, and you use each other to reaffirm, some type of
negative emotion.
Belief about life. Emotionally, you have emotional agreements on things. Well, that emotion is energy, and energy is frequency, and frequency carries information. So you share the same energy, you share the same information, but that's what people do in their lives. But now in a true loving relationship, when you're truly in your heart, then the question is, what would love do in the relationship? And when your heart is open, it's no longer about you. It's about how I feel so amazing with you. I feel even more amazing, but without you, I'm still whole. And so now I'm no longer in need or lack. And so now when we get together, and our fields interfere, when they start interfering, now the amplitude gets way higher. There's way more energy. And now, I'm all about all 7 centers of the body lining up. All of them. When we're here in a body, let's enjoy it all, but come from love. And so now your heart is so open that you can't do anything else but give. You feel so amazing. You're so happy with yourself, so happy with your life, so happy with what you have. You want other people to feel the same way. And you say, here, take that. And when you give now, guess what happens? You release more oxytocin, more nitric oxide, and more of those chemicals that cause the heart to swell even more. Then all of a sudden, your immune system gets stronger, and all of a sudden, your body starts feeling better. You start having more energy, and now...
So you are coming from a place of giving because you're so full, right? This water, right? You're so full that you're not waiting for them to fill your cup. You're giving and pouring into them, and their cup is full. You start to give and not feel like you're losing something.
The constructive interference between two people that are coming together in wholeness and no longer dependence or lack or separation or need is a different game. So then what they do to protect, to nurture, to grow, to evolve that love is one of the most important things that they have, not because they're doing it out of obligation or because they're married or whatever. It's just they can't not do it. We see people, had somebody stand the other day in our workshop in profoundly high amounts of gamma. She can do it on command. And there's an incredible arousal that takes place that goes along with these high brain frequencies that you can only describe as ecstasy or bliss. Now you're getting that ecstasy and bliss, not from anyone or anything out there. no drug, no
Inside.
person, no football game, no shopping spree is doing that. It's
Mm.
somehow
Inside.
it's coming from within. Like, what is that connection that you have? And so one of the scientists said to this woman, how do you do that? You know what she said? I have difficulty not doing it. I can't not do it when I'm in it. It's too when I'm doing this, it's too good. So now that could be a constant feeling in your life. So now,
What, love?
independent of anyone or anything, it's coming from within you. Okay? So think about this.
Whether you're in a relationship or single.
Doesn't matter.
So when people are saying like, you know, like their love is dependent, like it depends on how the person acts, then I'm going to be loving, I'm going to be kind, I'm going to be cooperative. And he say just operate in that all the time. It becomes like ecstasy, and it's such a habit where it's like, how could I not be loved? That's
your whole. Your love is not wavering, it's constant, right? So now imagine having this feeling. And when oxytocin is released, what most people don't know is that it seeps into the amygdala. And there's certain survival emotions in the amygdala: fear and anxiety, aggression and anger, pain and suffering. And it literally shuts the lights out in those circuits in the amygdala. And there's only one thing left: love and joy, right? So now this person is suppressing the survival centers, resetting the baseline of the past, how they perceive the past. And now
I just said that. I just said you gotta flip your whole past and go back. Not even have God heal it. That was one. That was new. But I said you gotta look at the past. Like when you telling what happened, you gotta look at the lessons that you learned and the good things that happened versus how, like, the negative part. You know what I mean? Like you could say something, you can frame it in a positive way. This is exactly what he's saying.
the research on oxytocin shows that when you have just a slight level of increase, and our research shows our students are way outside of normal, that it's impossible to hold a grudge. You know why?
Wait, I know that's right. Oh my God, let me tell you. So let me tell you, I had something happen, and you know, I got into like a little thing, and the person said something bad about me to the kid, and I was like, wait. The person was like, oh, you should have called the cops on her, right? And I was just like, I mean, it's not that deep. I was her parent. So, but when I saw her, it was like Christmas time. I saw the mom who said these things about me and saying negative things. And I was just like, oh, girl, I bought this doll and this and that. And then I was like, oh, let me, I know your daughter going to like this. That's on sale. And this, we were like in the Target together, or Walmart, whatever it was. And I was like, I think it was Target. And I was like, when I walked away, that's when it came to my memory of what she said. I said, yo, like, I need to be more mad. I said, I need to be more mad at people because I'll be forgetting I'm supposed to hold a grudge about what you said. Didn't you just say something crazy about me? I said, these people probably think it's sweet. Oh my gosh. That is so true. When you're operating on that happiness vibe, like you're not even thinking about, oh my gosh, I got a grudge. I can't see, Oh man, that's good.
Because the feeling feels so good. Why would you judge another person, or why would you react to some condition and lose that feeling? You figure it out really fast. So this birth of unconditional love.
So because now you're going back and forth between being upset and then back to this love part. And if you are operating in love all the time, when you think about the grudge, you're like, it's not worth it to come out of love to go be mad at somebody. Why I got to be mad at you for?
Because I'm in love with myself.
I know that's right.
My connection to some divine intelligence within me.
Whew. So this happened, true story, right? I was thinking and I was tired. And I was like, okay. I was like, why am I feeling empty and waiting for a person to add to it? I was like, I can just fill my own cup. And I literally felt like this when he say these thoughts and these feelings, I literally felt my heart filling up. Like that was so strange to me and good at the same time. I literally felt my cup filling up. I'm like, no, wait, I love me. I'm good. I'm good. I don't need someone else to validate me. I don't need something to happen in order for me to be happy. I can give that to myself. And when we start operating like that, we can come out, there's not see, this is what I learned, okay? In real estate, let me get you. In real estate, I have between me and the mortgage company, we've had calculus, trigonometry size problems, and I didn't like calculus or trigonometry. And when I tell you, we did not have no way. It's like, yo, back in the day, I used to work with this lender. It was always a daggone problem. I don't work with them no more. But we would come up with the most creative solutions. But I knew that my emotional state had to be on point. I had to calm myself down. I had to let go. Remember, I told you, like, they're literally about to kill the whole deal over something that never really was a problem. This happens all the time. And I literally was like, what can I do, like, to keep my emotional state? I may not come. That's why people be like, oh, well, I didn't get an answer right away. I say, listen, no answer means it's still probable. When you get an answer and they say, no, it cannot be done, that is not a good thing. So the let's say you have an issue, a huge problem. Give it some time. You relax. You think, what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? You come up with some top solutions, and you keep yourself in that creative state of mind. Do you think I can sit there and be yelling at kids and surviving and all of that stuff and still be at that operating at that mental capacity? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Mad at people, mad at the world. No, that's not where my creativity comes. I really be putting my all into what I do. Like not to brag, but I was like, I told a friend, I was like, listen, child, you would not believe. I said, rooming relationship, child. I just be feeling drained sometimes because I just be like, yo, that really came from the heart. That really came from an issue that I was having or somebody was having, and creating in that way to be able to produce a good show, to be able to be like, and then you go back and I was like, yeah, I was talking, but then I go back, I was like, I didn't say that. That was good. To have these moments caught and recorded, it's amazing. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. I'm about to wrap it up.
And because I'm so in love with life and with myself, I'm looking at life through the lens of love, which means I'm going to allow you to be whoever you want around me. I don't really, I'm no longer
Not a reaction.
I'm not a reaction because I've overcome my fear. I've overcome my anger. And now I'm ready for love. And now that relationship that you have, if you find that equal, that's a needle in the haystack, because now it's a vibrational match.
Yeah.
And so as long as you're evolving,
that's facts. Oh my God.
As long as
I'm sitting here, I'm feeling all of these positive emotions and knowing I was in this state and it's all coming back to me again. But now it's like, don't let the outsiders make you feel this way. What's inside here gotta make yourself feel this way. I love it. This is what I needed today. This is my medicine.
Evolving, as long as we're sharing the same ideals, as long as we're working together, as long as we have our independence, and as long as we come together and we bring our best. And I say to you, how was your day? What did you learn? Or let's start our day. So how are you going to be today? Come on, let's just support each other. So what are the programs you're going to stay away from? Are you going to rush? What did you do yesterday that you want to improve today? How can I support you? How can I love you in that? You want to text at noon? What do you need? And then, how am I going to be? Okay, tell me how you vocalize it, articulate it, so that now I understand your intention and I can support. That's good. And so then, when the person can articulate it, what are they doing? They're rehearsing in their mind who they're going to be, and so now they're becoming conscious of that future. And then they have to work on staying conscious of their unconscious programs, and by articulating that, they're going to not let those thoughts slip by as well. So then now you have two people in evolution. It's no longer about all the other things. It's not about the money. It's not about the sex. It's not about the weight. It's not about the diet. Those are all things that we already know. This is something else. This is a whole nother level where when you...
He just said, basically, y'all are leveling each other up. What did you learn about today? What things are you going to do differently tomorrow? What do you need from me? Do you need a text from me at 12 or 2? Or you know what I mean? And it's like you almost design how your relationship is going to be. That's thorough to me. Like, what? We said thorough back in the day. Y'all didn't say thorough. Okay. We fulfill it. We said thorough.
Exchange and evolve on this level. It's the most important thing, because now you see that person as a mirror. Oh my God, she did amazing. I'm in love with her. I admire her. Wow, she's got it going on. She executed today. She got her behaviors to match her intentions, and I want to celebrate her. Like wow, I'm in awe. That to me, you don't work on that. You work on you. Everybody works on themselves, and then they bring their best. And if they're not at their best...
That's exactly what I said. You work on you. He works on him. Everybody brings their best.
Excuse yourself and get back to your best. And if you tell me it's that person or that circumstance, you went back to the unconscious.
Ooh. Yes, he did. He said, if you tell me it's something else, if you tell me it's the circumstance, if you tell me it was somebody else, you went back to blaming something outside of yourself for why you're not operating at the highest level. Yo, if we have relationships where it's like, okay, what did you do? What did you learn? What was the best part of your day? Like, how can you get better? What?
Program of being a victim. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with reacting. But the next question is, how long?
I'm going to stay in this mode.
Right. Or do you want help getting out? Right. So I think that when you start feeling those elevated emotions and your energy is synchronized, right? And you got a Wi-Fi signal. Right. You got a signal.
You're 5G, you're connected.
And you're connected. And what are you connected in this sense of wholesome, this sense of love, this sense of joy, this satisfaction with yourself and your life. And when I watch this, Louis, people come to our events for all kinds of reasons. Some people come for health, some people come for wealth, some people come for relationships. It's really funny, and when they show up, angry people, they're angry with themselves.
Wait, pause. Did you see how he said health, relationships, money? And these are the topics that I covered. So it's making me feel good. Like, okay, well, they do go together and people need it. And this one thing can be translated to another thing into another thing.
When they're angry with themselves, they'll be impatient and angry with others. People who are unhappy with themselves will punish other people so that they can feel their unhappiness.
Or is it to get their anger out?
They'll be impatient and angry with others. For relationships, it's really funny. And when they show up, angry people, they're angry with themselves. When they're angry with themselves, they'll be impatient and angry with others. People who are unhappy with themselves.
So people that are angry with themselves will be angry at others.
Will punish other people so that they can feel their unhappiness.
Or is it to get
punish other people so they can be mad too.
Their anger out, or is it why?
No, because that's who they are. That's the emotion that's driving their behaviors. People who are in love with themselves will find love in others. People who are happy with themselves will find something that they can connect with. They won't see all the flaws. They'll see some part of them that they want to enjoy.
And they say you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So if you're walking in love, then all you're going to see is the love in the other person. If you're walking in anger, then and dissatisfaction, then that other person is going to irritate you. It doesn't matter if that person's, you're going to just focus on their flaws. And who doesn't have flaws?
So So if you're in a relationship and you've scrubbed the cupboard and you've taken out all those skeletons and you've looked at them and you said, I don't want to bring this into my relationship. I don't want my insecurity to be there. I don't want my fear to be there. I don't want my judgment to be there. I don't want my emotions from other relationships to be there. So let me finish this. In other words, if you want love in your life and your future, then you better take care of your frustration, because you can't bring that there. You got to leave it. So then you may say to me, well, it's because that person and this emotion.
Stop. So remember when I said, or maybe this is the first time you heard it, but you had to love like you've never lost, right? Love like you've never been hurt. Like this is your first time loving, right? For that blank slate. He's saying, even your on top of that, even your insecurities, your guilt, your fear, your anger, don't bring that stuff in. Whatever you felt towards anger, you felt towards your ex, don't bring that in there. I find myself saying, like, I don't even want to go into certain stories and situations. I used to tell my whole life story, child. I don't do that no more. But I don't feel like bringing that stuff in. Like, I feel like I'm going to give you the facts. I'm going to give you the outline of things that you must know. This is the reason why this is this way. But other than that, we don't need to dabble in that. That is the past. And it's not about, like, I mean, eventually they'll get to know other things little by little, but what does it matter if y'all have a future together? If y'all have a relationship that y'all love, what does it matter what all the other people before you have done to each other?
Emotion from 15 years ago, my ex makes me feel frustrated. Let me tell you something. The only reason that you're thinking about your ex is because you're still in frustration. You overcome frustration. You look back at your ex and you'll be like, I wish them well. Yeah. I'm not connected to my past any longer. So cleaning the cupboards and getting down to those thoughts.
How many of y'all wish y'all exes well? You know what song I like? And I'm about to close. This is too good though. I'm so freaking grateful for my ex. Thank you. Next. Thank you. Next. Thought I wasn't a man, but he wasn't a match. And I'm so good with that. She said, one taught me love, one taught me patience, one done the things, and that's so amazing. I've loved in my lungs. That's all that I see. That's what you told me. And all I'm gonna say is thank you. Next. Thank you. Next. Thank you. Next. I'm so freaking grateful for my ex. All right, guys. Thank you. I don't really curse, so you're gonna get some little frick fracks and frickins and stuff like that. But that's about it. And some dams. My kids said I can't say damn, but it's okay. All right, guys. So I absolutely, some of these shows go deep, deep, deep. Deepity deep, deep, deep. This one went deep. This one was something I've never heard. There's science behind it. I mean, y'all need to sit down and take notes. Y'all need to get positive and process and cleanse and purge. Okay? That's what you need to do if you want to if you want to manifest your dream partner, become a dream partner. Ooh. Hey! If you want to manifest a dream partner, become the dream partner. And just looking at your life totally different and being in gratitude and a place of peace and wishing everybody well, you know. And now I'm cleaning up. I'm like, listen, I not only, you know, the people that, you know, have you ever had like an ex and then certain people from the past, they always bring up that ex. I'm like, yo, I don't even know these people. I don't know these people. Stop bringing this up. They're hurt, but at the end of the day, that has nothing to do with you. You gotta wish these people well. You gotta wish them adios, bid them adieu, and keep loving yourself. Create love every single day, and just be grateful for every single day. and open up your heart. Like, you're gonna have to learn how to open up your heart. It's not gonna be easy. You're gonna have discernment. You can't open your heart up with everybody. Like, you gotta have some levels too. You gotta put some time. You gotta see who this person is first. But open up your heart and be available, and operate from a place of love. These are things. I was on a call with somebody on a one-on-one, and I said, I'm not gonna tell you nothing new. But he was like, this is something that I would um I know these things, but now that you put it this way, I feel like I can actually take action on the things that I know. And that was beautiful. And this is that type of show where you need to take action on these things. Literally, you don't know what to do, how to manifest love. You go in and you take notes. Watch this again. Watch this a second time, a third time, and get everything, every little juicy morsel you can out of it. I'm going to leave the link. Hold on, guys, for the whole thing right here. I don't know if you guys can get it in the, but there you go. All right. If you love the show, drop me a Cash App, $ Ruth the Realtor. Thank you for your support in advance. And thank you so much for watching Ruth and Relationship. Ruth and Relationship. Tell me, can you handle it? It's the Ruth and Relationship Show. Bye. I bless your digital life, your marriage, and your children. Bye. Good show, Ruth. I'm going to sit in love. Sit